Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Hope you had a good weekend. Today we got a lot going on. We're going to continue on with our study of Kaballah. We're going to continue that beginning the second half of the hour. In the meantime, let's get to our day 28th of July. So we could see first off that there's a transition going on here between the moon signs. Okay, our sun sign is set. Our sun sign is in Leo, where it is for the next couple of weeks. So Leo is a fire sign, all about creativity, all about how we use our energy, the righteousness, the right useness of the energy, deals with the Kundalini energy. And now we're going from Leo, where we've been as a moon sign as well, and we're going into Virgo, which is an earth sign. So we're going to be dealing with Virgo tonight. That transition doesn't complete itself till this evening, so over the course of the day we're finishing out Leo. So we've got double Leo, a lot of fire going on, a lot of lion activity. You know, the lion is out there, and the lion can be very prideful. So we have to make sure that when the different lions get together, that they're not fighting with each other, that they're using their creativity in a wise way. So we want to be righteous, the right useness of how we're going to use our energy today with all of this going on. And then tonight, as we go into Virgo, things become a bit more practical because we go from fire. You know, one other way you can look at the signs, when you think of the elements, fire, water, air, and earth, think of how they move. Fire, when you watch fire, it doesn't stay still, right? Fire is moving. So the element of fire, when you're considering it, you're considering that movement that goes on. Well, fire represents ideas. Ideas are always moving. Okay? And so you can apply the idea of how the element is moving to the idea to give it a little bit more life. So when you get to feelings, well, we know water is feelings. Water can be moving, so our feelings can be moving. Water can get stagnant. Our feelings can get stagnant. When water gets stagnant, it smells a little differently. It behaves a little differently than when it's moving. And so our emotions follow in suit. Air, the same thing. Air moves. Air doesn't usually stay still for too long. So our words move as well. Our words go from one place to the next when we express the words, or the actions we take under the words. So if you just think of the element itself, and then of course Earth is just stationary. It's just still. So Earth is solid. It's, you know, it's there, physical. So you look at all of the different ways the energy moves, and you can apply that, and you start to see that there's a lot of synchronicity going on. Okay, it helps you to understand. So we're dealing with an energy today of Leo as a conscious mind, which is moving, and our unconscious mind, Leo, is also moving. And not only are they moving, but in both cases, fire is represented by ideas. So we have all these ideas, these creative ideas in our conscious mind and our unconscious mind, and they're there working with each other. The question is, how are they going to work together, right? That's the whole secret. And as we go throughout the course of the day, well, we really have kind of passed everything. We have a opposition taking place today between this one here, which is Pluto, and here Venus. You notice Venus and Mercury are alike. The only difference is Venus has the two little horns on the top of the head there. Venus does not. So these are opposites here. So Venus is about our imagination and transformation taking place within ourselves. So we're in a transformative period of time. I believe Pluto is also retrograde. So we're looking at past issues, things in our lives that we've dealt with that need to come to the surface and be dealt with again to balance things out. Therefore, we have the imagination of the Empress. Remember, Empress means door, the left. So going through the Empress, by using our imagination, we enter the new realms. Numerology for today is a number 6. Let's see if you got there the same way I did. We got the 7, 2, and the 8. 2014. So 7, 10, 1, 7. That's 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So numerology today is the 6. 6 we know as the Lovers. 6 we know as, think of 3 on one side, 3 on the other. So you got the idea of balance. You could also look at the balance further if you say 2, 2, and 2. 6 is when you relate to the tarot card of the Lovers. It's about discrimination, discernment, using the gift of discernment. It's one of the gifts the Holy Spirit provides for us. And in the picture, we're shown the card that shows the male and the female, and then the higher self. The male, the conscious mind, looks to the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind looks to the higher self. And when we keep that synchronicity in, and that way of which we look at life, it really makes a big difference. So, numerology for today, 6. So we have the 6 numerology, we have a Leo sun, we have a Leo moon. So the placement of all of these here, this would be our sun and the moon right here. So good balance going on there today, but we're reminded with Leo that Leo is standing between mercy and severity, between our humility and our excessive pride. Okay, so which way is it going to be? And the best way is to be in a balanced position. Nice, good, balanced position. So our thinking needs to not, we don't need to be too humble. We don't need to get run over, walked upon, taken for granted, but we don't need to go out there and kill anybody either. Fight to the death. We want to find a nice, good balance, how to use that energy. So that's both conscious and unconscious mind. And here we have the numerology for day the 6th, going from understanding to beauty through our sense of discrimination. Okay, making proper choices. All right, and then let's take a look here at the Lovers card number 6. We haven't looked at this one in a while, and since it's the numerology for today, here's the card. So we've got the male, conscious mind, female, unconscious mind, or subconscious, looking at the angel higher self. Conscious mind focuses on the unconscious, which focuses on the higher self. Therefore, we are in a place of proper discrimination or discernment so we can make good choices. Discrimination is the keynote of the 6th key. Its symbolism graphically portrays sharp differences. The letter Zayin, the Hebrew letter on this card, means a sword, which is an instrument of cleavage. To this key also is attributed the disposing intelligence, and disposing literally means to pose apart or to separate. In addition to that, the zodiacal sign Gemini is attributed to this key. Gemini means the twins, and as the sign is approximately 2 ones next to each other, gives us a clue to the occult doctrine that all opposites are really different aspects of the one thing, and they are complementary. The title, The Lovers, brings this even more graphically. The sun is a symbol of enlightenment and the one force, which is differentiated into pairs of opposites. The angel represents the superconsciousness, and the clouds indicate that this is partly hidden to us from our present stage of conscious unfoldment. The mountain symbolizes attainment. The man and the woman are Adam and Eve, or the prototypes of the specialization of life forces, male and female. The tree of 12 flames behind the man represents a sign of the zodiac, and behind the woman the 5 senses. The later carries out the idea of discrimination between opposites because it bears the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. In addition, the 5 senses are instruments which enable us to discriminate between one thing and another. The serpent represents the occult force known as Kundalini. And the Kundalini is what we hear going through the energy flowing through the card of strength. Okay, so let's move on from there. Our moon phase for today, we've made it past a new moon. We're now 3% of the way, making our way up towards a full moon. This week when we look up at the sky, tonight tells us Mars continues its eastward trek against a cosmic backdrop. Look southwest at dusk. You'll notice that it's now definitely close to Saturn and Antares. Mars is to Saturn's lower right and Antares to Saturn's lower left. Alright, we don't have a graphic for this. We will coming up once we get to the first. The Mayan Oracle, I completely forgot to mention that Friday was a day out of time. Day out of time is basically a time when, let me show you here, we go through this whole system, this grid, and basically a day at a time is this. When we look at our Gregorian calendar, we go from month to month, and at the end of the year, we go from the end of the year into the new year right away. Well, the Mayan Oracle, the Mayan calendar, it recognizes the fact that during the course of the year, there's 13 moon periods, each one 28 days in length. They add up to 364. There's one extra day. That one extra day is recognized as a day at a time. A day at a time that we take a look at where we've been to see where we're going. It's implied in the idea that the moon goes, or the sun and the moon travel, together, or the earth and the moon, and as they travel around, the sun is going to make 13, or its rotations around, the earth is going to make its rotations around the sun, and the moon itself is going to be following along in its progressions as well. And during the course of these particular cycles, there's one extra day, because we have each moon 13 times 28, 364. So we have one extra day, a day at a time. It's like New Year's Eve, and then a day off, and then New Year's Day. So Friday was this day at a time, a new time to kind of look at the new cycle. So we've begun a new cycle. That's the long and short of it. I know it's Monday. I'm rambling a little bit more, trying to get all my thoughts collected here. So that's what's going on. We have a new cycle, basically. And a cycle is always in the same way that a wave spell and the beginning of the day determines what the theme is going to be. The beginning of a year determines what the year is going to be as well. Okay, so if I go back here, and I know that the 26th, let's take a look at the 26th. This was on Saturday. And this was the first day of the year, and it was a moon day. Okay, so this whole next year is now going to be themed the red moon year. Okay, so today we are on the wave spell here, wave spell of the dragon, during a red moon year. And our position for today is right here, the monkey, the 9th position. So there's a lot of different cycles going on within here. Phrase for today, 11. Monkey guided by monkey. Is I dissolve in order to play, realizing illusion. I seal the process of magic with the spectral tone of liberation. I am guided by my own power doubled. Spaceweather.com. Solar wind 432.4 kilometers per second. Planetary K index. It has some activity going on between 2 and 3. We've got our coronal hole and Earth-directed solar wind today, tomorrow. M-class flare possibilities up to 15, X-class to 1. Geomagnetic storm activity seems to be about 20%. In the higher latitudes, mid-latitudes, we had a 25%, but other than that, it's dropped pretty low. And over on the Jewish calendar, today begins a new month called 1 Av. Okay, let's take a look at what this is all about. This is today. It was represents passing of Aaron. Aaron, the first high priest, brother of Moses, and Miriam passes away at age 123 on the 1st of Av of the year 2487 from creation. This is the only date of passing, which is Yetzirah, explicitly mentioned in the Torah. Today is called Rosh Chodesh, which is head of the month for the Hebrew month of Av. Okay, so we're beginning this month here. It says when Av begins, we diminish our rejoicing. On the first day of Av, this is during the 3-week mourning period, remember that, which began on 17 Tammuz. This is the mourning period over the destruction of the Holy Temple, which began 13 days earlier on Tammuz 17. It enters an intensified stage during the 9 days from Av to the 9th of Av. The heightened degree of mourning is observed, including abstination from meat, wine, music, bathing for pleasure, joy, and other joyous and enjoyable activities. Okay. There isn't any particular daily thoughts for today. Just that we've moved into a new phase here. Okay, and just as a matter of thought, just when we, when things seem to pick up in the wars and the battles that are going out there, seem to coordinate with the beginning of the 17 Tammuz. So as we're getting into this extended mourning period where it intensifies, let's just keep an eye out on world affairs and see what's going on in that part of the world that is affected. And the Jewish community, Israel. Let's see what's going on out there and see if we can understand whether or not someone is looking at the biblical calendar and working in accordance with these dates to facilitate perhaps some more of this mourning period that is going on. Okay? That's one way we can definitely look and kind of see where there are correlations, how things are, working together, what's connecting the ideas. There you have it. That is getting us started. Our cosmic weather. UFO news is up next. Let's do it.
This is the UFO news with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. First story for today takes us to Canada. This was from the 27th, which was Saturday, or excuse me, yesterday. Here's our object in question. The eyewitness says it was a really bright orbital object, glowing, stayed in one spot for about 10 to 15 minutes, but then started moving southwest towards Young Shepherd, then disappeared out of my sight. Okay, we have a video down here. Sarah Chun, 36, was sitting in the dining room table of her Finch Street apartment around 9 p.m. when she saw 6 or 7 diagonal lights flashing across the sky. Grabbed her iPad, headed outside, where she noticed a second glowing object. It was really high up. It was round, bright, shining. She told the star, "At first I thought it was stars or something, but it was too bright to be. I didn't know what it was." Alright. Whole video itself, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. And she sees a whole link of them right here. Look at those. Good shot. What is that? Don't know. If you have any more information, this took place out in Toronto yesterday. Okay, here we go from the ISS. The ISS, International Space Station, always has some interesting things going on up there. This just says from July. It doesn't say if it's something more recent, but we keep getting things from them all the time, so we should check. There we go, right up there. This might have been the most recent one. This was seen out there, and shortly afterwards, the feed was cut. NASA likes to do that when UFOs show up. They like to cut the feed to make sure that people aren't seeing those kind of things. I wonder if SETI's watching. Because if SETI's watching the NASA channels, they'll see the ships there, and they'll know that their search for extraterrestrial intelligence might be coming close to an end, because they'll see right here. Maybe they can even call their buddies at NASA and say, hey, you've got video footage of these. Help us out. Help us out. Okay, amazing white UFO over Chile. July 2014. There's one little one right there. And right up there. Glowing orb was caught during sunset and hovers silently, but then suddenly moves to the left extremely fast. This is great raw footage from Chile. Video 33 seconds. Okay, that's just a lens flare right there. And there it goes. It's leaving. Alright, that's it. Next, triangular object filmed over Kassel, Germany, 26. That would be Saturday. This video of a triangle UFO is probably too good to be true, but I'll post it anyway. It was allegedly recorded over Kassel, a town located on Fuda River in northern Hesse, Germany. There we go. Look at this. All of this is available info. Well, that's a pretty good shot if that's real. Not certain. It's just right here, just the way the camera kind of pans up all of a sudden, and there it is. Seems, on one hand, a little too convenient. But check it out. See what you think. Let me know. Moving from Germany, heading over to the former HUD Assistant Secretary, who's revealing a U.S. Navy strategic plan on extraterrestrial life on Earth. What, you mean they know and they're not telling the public? Former Assistant Secretary of Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Catherine Austin Fitz, revealed the U.S. Navy was commissioning Arlington Institute in 1998 to form a plan in preparing for the world where alien life exists. Fitz released a document on July 4, 2013, supporting her claims. She said the plan was commissioned by U.S. Navy Undersecretary and was conducted by the Arlington Institute, a non-government organization. The NGO is located near the Pentagon, where Fitz served on the board of directors. The goal was to prepare the Navy for a world where extraterrestrials live among humans. She claims that she was asked to assist with the plan by the head of the Arlington Institute, John Peterson, and given an opportunity to meet a living alien, but she turned down the offer. However, Arlington Institute, through the organization president John Peterson, repudiated Fitz's claims. Members of the board of directors also denied Miss Fitz's version of events and said that they did not recall any meetings where she was present and the extraterrestrial issue was discussed. Fitz claims that released what she claims were official minutes of the board meetings in 2000 held in Arlington Institute on her website. According to Fitz, she published the minutes in the spirit of Independence Day and also because she learned that her claims were contradicted by members of the board. Really? What a surprise that is. What a surprise. Okay, so here it would appear that while they're not talking about it and disclosing it, they're already working on it. So people waiting for an answer, you're not going to get one for disclosure, because look how long they've been doing this. They've already been doing it under your nose. They don't want you to know. But we know. Here's some crop circles. Belgium and Austria. We haven't seen these. 27 seconds in length. Got a whole bunch of circles, circles, and more circles. Okay, that's a good one. And we have another one here. This one was the 25th. This is different type of circle, just a little smaller. Alright, and moving on. The Dalai Lama. And what he thinks about UFOs. What does the Dalai Lama have to say about extraterrestrial contact? The Dalai Lama shares his interesting views on what could be an event of the extraterrestrial visitors coming to Earth. It's always interesting to hear somebody with a far-reaching voice bring up this topic, as it is a very popular one today. I definitely resonate with what he says, that everything is interconnected, that we all are one, and we can see everything and everyone else as another facet of ourselves. It's not really a spiritual belief anymore that we are interconnected. Modern science is also catching on to this fact. The interconnectedness of all things is a great example of that. Until we are ready to see everyone who lives on Earth like this, we might not be ready to do it with those who reside in worlds beyond our own. Having said that, I do believe that we are moving towards contact at an exponential rate, and that my generation and the ones after have a future in the stars. A large majority of people on Earth do not believe that we are alone in the universe, and that there is in fact intelligent extraterrestrial life out there. Many also believe that extraterrestrial visitation to planet Earth has been occurring for a very long time. If one furthers the research into the subject, the evidence to support the claim that we have been visited and are being visited on a daily basis is abundant. Evidence ranges from official documentation from various sources like UFO researchers, governments, three-letter agencies, and more. Beyond this, we have statements made by very high-level military and political personnel. Further, we also have many people on planet Earth who claim to have had direct contact with extraterrestrials themselves. For more articles on the UFO and extraterrestrial phenomena, you can visit the Exopolitics section under the Alternative News tab on the homepage. Okay, and we got a little video here. 2 minutes 18 seconds, but I'm going to leave that for you. And that is our UFO news for today. Up next, when we return, we shall continue our study of the Kabbalah. Alright, let's jump away. I'll be right back.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Shine down your light, shine down your light, shine down your
Okay, here we are. We're back. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Tree of Life, Kabbalah. Science of the many universes. The many universes, okay? Not just one universe, the many universes. So it's a science that was passed down to humankind from the angelic kingdom. All right, here's a symbol. This is the Tree of Life. This is at the beginning of the show. I talk about this every day, so you are familiar with this. So this is the symbol that I just want you to be aware of. So last week we got into discussing from the Sefer Yetzirah. We went through the first chapter. Okay. And we went through the first chapter here, and now we're going to go through the second one. And the second one is going to get into describing aspects of this. Okay? So that's what we're all going to be describing, all of this. Here we go. Chapter 2. 22 letters are the foundation. 3 mothers, 7 doubles, and 12 simple. 3 mothers. Aleph, Mem, Shin. Their foundation is the scale of merit and the scale of guilt, and the tongue of the statue balances the scales between them. Okay, so we've got 3 mother letters, Aleph, Mem, Shin. So let's go over here, take a look. Aleph is right here. Mem is right, it's the hangman right here. And Shin is right down here. Judgment. Okay? So these are the 3 mother letters. Aleph, Mem, Shin. Okay, 3 mothers, Aleph, Mem, Shin. Says Mem stands still. Shin hisses. Aleph is the air of spirit balancing the scale between them. 22 letters are the foundation. He engraved them. He hewed them out. He combined them, and he set them at opposites, and he formed through them everything that is formed and everything that is destined to be formed. 22 letters are the foundation. He engraved them through voice. He hewed them out through his air, and he set them through his mouth in 5 places. Aleph, Chet, He, and Ayin in the throat. Gimel, Yod, Kaf, and Kof on the palate. Dalet, Tet, Lamed, Nun, and Tav with the tongue. Zayin, Samek, Shin, Resh, and Zadeh with the teeth. Bet, Va, Mem, and Pe with the lips. Okay, and you can go through each one of these if you want to really just find where each one are, because each one of these is a letter, so you can just go through. 22 letters are the foundation. He set them with a cycle, like a kind of wall with 231 gates, and the cycle rotates forward and back, and the sign of the thing is there is nothing in the goodness above pleasure, and there is nothing in evil below pain. How did he combine them, weigh them, and set them at opposites? Aleph with all of them, and all of them with Aleph Beit, with all of them with Beit, and rotates in turn, and thus they are 231 gates, and thus everything that is formed and everything that is spoken goes out from the one name. He formed substance from emptiness, and made what is from nothing. And he hewed out great columns from air, which is not tangible, and this is the sign, and he covered them at the opposites, and he made everything that is formed and everything that is spoken with one name, and the sign of the thing is 22, counting like one body. Okay, so we're just going to do chapter 2 today. You see they're all short, but basically what we're doing here is just describing the foundation, that all of this was created out of nothing, because remember, prior to coming into the crown, you have 3 different levels. You have the Ain, you have the Ain Sof, and the Ain Sof Or. The Ain is nothing, emptiness. The Ain Sof is unlimited emptiness. And then finally, we have the Ein Sof, or the limitless light. Okay, so we have nothing, limitless nothing, then the limitless light. So we go from a state of nothingness, emptiness, into instant light. And out of that light comes all of these emanations here that instantly progress out of here. And this is what is created. Okay, so this is what this first one is doing. It's talking about all of the 22 paths. And again, learning this is all the foundation, so good starting point. Now, jumping over to the mystical Kabbalah. So speaking of the method of the Kabbalah, one of the ancient rabbis says that an angel coming down to earth would have to take on human form in order to converse with man. The curious symbol system known to us as the Tree of Life is an attempt to reduce to diagrammatic form every force and factor in the manifested universe and the soul of man, to correlate them with one another and to reveal them spread out as a map so that they have relative positions of each unit can be seen, the relations between them traced. In brief, the Tree of Life is a compendium of science, psychology, physiology, and theology. The student of Kabbalah goes to work in exactly the opposite way the student of natural science. The latter builds up synthetic concepts. The former analyzes abstract concepts. It goes without saying, however, that before a concept can be analyzed, it must first be assembled. Someone must have brought up the principle that are resumed in the symbol, which is the object of the meditation of the Kabbalist. Who then were the first Kabbalists who built upon the whole scheme? The rabbis are unanimous upon this point. They were angels. In other words, it was beings of another order of creation than humanity that gave the chosen people their Kabbalah, which goes back to what I was saying. Kabbalah is an angelic science passed down. It's a cosmic science passed down to humankind from the angelic kingdom. That's why I said it's from the universe of the universe. Okay. It's the science of the many universes. It's not just something that's here. To the modern mind, this may seem an absurd statement as the doctrine that babies are found under gooseberry bushes, but if we study the many mystical systems of comparative religion, we find that all the Illuminati are in agreement upon this point. All wise, all men and women who've had practical experience in the spiritual life tell us they are taught by divine beings. We should be very foolish if we altogether disregard such a cloud of witness, especially for those of us who've never had any personal experience of the higher states of consciousness. Now, I just want you to be aware, I use the term Illuminati here. Remember when I said to you that there are secrets and wisdom and everything that was hijacked to a degree? Well, the Illuminati, this is one of these places. This wisdom goes back much, much, much older than the covert organization they have going on now. The ideas of the Illuminati, the illuminated ones, the ones who understood this type of wisdom, that's what this is referring to, okay? We're talking about the Brotherhoods of Light, the ancient wisdom teachers, not the Ashkenazi Illuminati that is out there trying to initiate a new world order. They're the fake ones, okay? So anyway. So there are some psychologists who would tell us that the angels of the Kabbalists and the gods and the Manus and other systems are our own repressed complexes. There are others with less limited outlook who will tell us that these divine beings are the latest latent capacities of our own higher selves. To the devotional mystic, this is not a point of any real great moment. He gets his results, and that is all he cares about. But the philosophical mystic, in other words, the occultist, thinks the matter out and arrives at certain conclusions. These conclusions, however, can only be understood when we know what they mean by reality and have a clear line of demarcation between the subjective and the objective. And the one who is trained in philosophical method knows that this is asking a good deal. The Indian school of metaphysics have the most elaborate and intricate system of philosophy which attempt to define these ideas and render them thinkable. And through generations of seers, they have given their lives to the task. The concept still remains so abstract that it is only after a long course of discipline called yoga in the East that the mind is able to apprehend them at all. The Kabbalist goes to work in a different way. He does not attempt to make the mind rise up on the wings of metaphysics into the rarefied air of abstract reality. He formulates a concrete symbol that the eye can see and let it represent the abstract reality that no untrained human mind can grasp. Okay, so right here, this is important what is being said here. Okay, we had talked about initiation at some point in time. That initiation is when you learn something about an object or something that has a meaning that you wouldn't have otherwise known unless your association with that particular group or organization. Sometimes things are more secretive, sometimes they're not. When we these mystery schools that teach these various sciences, what it's saying here says the Kabbalist goes to work in a different way. He does not attempt to make the mind rise up to the wings of metaphysics into the rarefied air. Instead, what he's doing is he's forming a concrete symbol that you can see and lets it represent the abstract reality that no untrained human mind can grasp. In other words, to create something that the mind has to reach for. This is where we're getting into the idea of the the mind is reaching for something a little bit more. It needs to be initiated into that idea. So we can kind of bring these into here. Okay? So you understand what I'm saying? It is exactly the same principle as algebra. Let x represent the unknown quantity, let y represent the half of x, and z represent something we know. If we begin to experiment with y, we find out its relation to z and what the proportions. It soon ceases to be entirely unknown. We have learned something at any rate about it, and if we are sufficiently skillful, we may at the end be able to express y in terms of z, and then we shall be able to understand x. Alright, there's still more you can see to this, but I'm going to stop there. I'm going to leave that for you to continue on with this study. We'll move into the next section next week. Finish this up here. It's just a little bit more. And I want to get over to the KYBALION. This is something we should always keep reminding ourselves as well, because these principles you will find play themselves out all the time. And as you're looking at the symbol of the tree of life, by understanding these 7 principles of the KYBALION will help you to understand. So these are all different pieces of the puzzle. We've been going over all of these, but now we're going to put them all together. So here's a reminder. These are the 7 Hermetic principles. Principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the major keys before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open, the KYBALION. Okay, the 7 principles upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy are based are known as principle of mentalism. Everything in the universe is mental energy, the mind. Principle 2, everything correlates and corresponds. So this mind energy that's out there, that exists everywhere, that exists in multidimensional levels, corresponds to every other bit of mental energy out there. The principle of vibration says all of this vibrates. And every vibration, every wave of vibration that's out there, these ideas are all grouped together in poles. For example, hot and cold are 2 ends of the same energy. They're 2 different poles, and to move back and forth between one is just a matter of moving back and forth along the pole between hot and cold. because in essence they are the same energy. They are just different poles of the same energy. So we understand things move in polarity. Okay? Rhythm tells us that everything moves back and forth, kind of like a pendulum, so to speak. There's a rhythm to everything, and when we understand the rhythm, we know when to move and move out of the way. It's like dancing. We find the rhythm. We get the rhythm of what's going on, and we move with the rhythm. Things are different than when we're not moving with the rhythm. Then the principle of cause and effect, which reminds us that the law of karma, which is another word for this, is whatever we do, whatever we cause is going to have an effect. And the things that are going on in our life right now, the causes or are effects of causes that were set in motion by something else. So life is a continual process of cause and effect. Right now I'm causing some words to happen, to words to be read, and as I do that, those words are having an effect on me, effect on anybody who's listening. And as you take those words, and as I take those words and do the next thing, we will cause the next moment to happen based on the effect of the previous moment, and on and on and on. It's quite a principle if you just start contemplating how it works. And last principle of gender, understanding that the universe is masculine and feminine, and the two energies are designed to work together. One gives, one receives. One is the negative charge, one is a positive charge, simply in terms of electricity. So the male conscious mind, positive charge, the giver. Female, negative charge, the receiver. And these two work together. Okay? So there we have the 7 principles. And the last thing we're going to look at here, because it ties together all of the principles of the tree, is the pattern on the Trestleboard. So I'm going to read through this each time we do this, one of these sessions. Here we go. Truth about the self. All the power that ever was or will be is here now. I am a center of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. Through me, its unfailing wisdom takes form in thought and word. Filled with understanding of its perfect law, I am guided moment by moment along the path of liberation. From the exhaustless riches of its limitless substance, I draw all things needful, both spiritual and material. I recognize the manifestation of the undeviating justice in all the circumstances of my life. In all things great and small, I see the beauty of the divine expression. Living from that will, supported by its unfailing wisdom and understanding, mine is the victorious life. I look forward with confidence to the perfect realization of the eternal splendor of the limitless light. In thought and word and deed, I rest my life upon the sure foundation of eternal being, and the kingdom of spirit is embodied in my flesh. Okay? It's right down here. So as I went over each one, you saw that I was just pointing to each one of these different ones as it went along, and the progression was very simple. You got out here 0 coming into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? There you have it. That's our Kabbalah lesson for today. So reread through that. Reread through the mystical Kabbalah. And if we go through a little bit every week, before long we'll all really kind of be on the same page of really seeing what this is about. And then we can really kind of take our discussions and, exchanges of information to another level, because we'll all be understanding what this is really all about. All right, there you have it. Moving on. Here's an article from over at In5D. Michelle Walling, How to Break Archon Programming. Josh Lash has coined the definition of archons as being an artificial intelligence program that has enslaved humanity over millions of years. In order for humans to beat the system during the final showdown, we need to know a few things that can be done to break the programming. What is the origin of the archons? According to John Lash, the archons are the biggest, baddest wolves in the universe. When the divine feminine aspect of Source sent out the call to souls to come to be a part of the great ascension experience, many responded. Not only was there an opportunity to rapidly grow spiritually, but it was a chance to be part of the grandest template of biological creation ever. The archons did not hear the call out of the fairness some souls told them of their plans to incarnate into the densest but most polarized environment created thus far. The archons did not believe the souls because they had not heard the call themselves. They already had exhibited greed, domination, and control tendencies which had pushed them further away from the vibration of Source. The archonic entities became jealous of the souls' decisions to embark on this journey and vowed to follow them down into the experiment and give them the extreme polarity difficulty needed to push humanity towards waking up when it was time to make the journey back home. The mind that controls the archon system is cunning and brilliant. Once the archons realized how easy it would be for them to control beings in such a dense environment, they did not want their souls to be successful in breaking out of their system. They realized that they could have this experience for a very, very long time as they fed off the negative dense energy created from their control systems. The archons supposedly have 800 billion units assigned to almost 8 billion people on the planet. These units cannot physically incarnate, and so they use other beings in the galaxy to mind control in order to have a vehicle with which to control the human population. They can also create a mind control program to directly affect the humans via television, radio, internet, magazines, newspapers, education, pharmaceutical, health, finance, computer games, music, and advertising. The archons do not have consciousness or emotions. They are parts of the mind being that is a brilliant programmer. This being had the ability to go back and forth through timelines in order to see what choices humans would make and always be one step ahead in order to keep humans controlled. Now that we are on the precipice of shift in human consciousness, we are aware of what happened, and we are able to make conscious decisions to break free from the programming. Part of the system put in place involved computer programs that can monitor humanity via face recognition and social status updates on Facebook. There's accelerating evidence of truth monitoring on Facebook. Postings as prime truth or articles and statements are being buried by the paid Facebook employees. One way they do this is by creating a more post section where they can hide the good stuff. Another way is that one's Facebook wall is no longer chronological. They can shuffle posts around any way they wish on a person's wall. The Facebook police have also been proven to remove likes on articles. They are a threat to the agenda. Their major goal on Facebook is to distract people with either mindless junk or to flood people's walls with war images and animal cruelty, while making otherwise popular truther articles seem to be not liked very much at all. So, it says, how do we break the programming? The archon programming can be broken by turning off the television, reducing the time spent on cell phones, limiting time on the computer, including Facebook, especially the Facebook games, and spending more time in nature. The archons did not plan for us disconnecting our consciousness from technology and instead connecting with Mother Earth. Meditation and focusing on breath within our steps to relaxing enough to tune in. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave you to read the rest of the article because what she is saying is very important. We just have to unplug. That's the whole idea. You know, I like to think that during the time of the Garden of Eden, the story that we know of humankind was made. And anytime you have a creature that is made, it has the opportunity for spiritual evolvement, just like every other creature. The only difference would be the amount of information that was supplied to that individual. If the information is blocked off, then that soul might not be able to progress as well as it could as if it had the information. We go back to the Garden of Eden, and we're told and we understand that wisdom was blocked. So that blocking off of the wisdom was intended to intentionally keep us from knowing what was going on. By plugging back into the wisdom that's out there, by going into ourselves, by meditating, by turning away from the outside influences like unplugging from the television and the news and the social networks and everything that takes us outside, we get a chance to go inside to really find out where that strength is, where that program of ourselves is. And when we do, we're able to see the places where we are being programmed, where our wisdom has been blocked. And that's a key. When we can go in and do that, we're self-diagnosing our own issues, our own problems. And as we can fix those issues within ourselves, as we can see within ourselves what's wrong and fix them, makes all the difference in the world. And we break free from all of this archon programming because we can see much more clearer what it's about. Okay, so it's a really great article. Good job, Michelle. Read the rest of it because I think you'll really get a lot from it. But it, like everything else, all of this is tying in. We're learning how to use our energy. We're learning how to differentiate between the energy that we're using to express and evolve ourselves versus the energies that are out there that are intended to try to stifle us or keep us down. And we're learning to separate from them by standing in our own power. And the things that we do, the meditations, are all intended towards that. All right? The messages, positive thinking, it's all leading to the same place. Because it goes back, remember, first principle of Kabbalah, of KYBALION, the principle of mentalism. We live in a mental universe. So, that being the case, the mind can change everything. It's all about the mind. So, we create, think positive thoughts, the mind can create. It's a mental universe. All right, here's our message for today from Hilarion. Here we go.
Hilarion.
July 27th through August 3rd, 2014.
Hilarion.
Beloved ones, the pressure within increases as the energy intensifies from the cosmos. The activity of purification is intensifying in all quarters of life. There is no escape for anyone or anything upon the earth plane. All are as one in the eye of the cosmic storm that is passing through. The energy sensitive among you will find yourselves moving into the next step of your journey in wonderful and unexpected ways. With a suddenness that is startling, you will find yourselves in a blessed space as you find the longed for peace within. As this alignment and recalibration takes place yet again, you enter a new phase of healing within your human operating system. The healing will become noticeable in your daily life as you go about your duties. There will be more energy flowing through you and you will have the energy to create all that you desire in your lives. Your ability to remain focused upon your goals will see a marked improvement. There will continue to be a choosing of the crossroads for each and every soul upon the planet, and it can be difficult for many as the rifts within families and friendships continues to occur. Many times, these rifts are temporary as those who are confused about what is occurring or totally unaware of it move away in rejection of the awakened ones. Hold your ground and remain centered in your own truth. Each person on earth is responsible for their own choices and decisions at all times and must accept the consequences that come about as a result. Those who hurt or harm others will find that energy coming back to them in numerous ways that will keep them having to look within themselves in a clear and honest manner until they understand that the energy they give out into the universe comes back to them in equal measure, no matter if it is positive or negative. In times past this energy took some time, sometimes years to manifest within a person's life, but what will now start to occur with more rapidity, is the manifestation of focused thought, so it is wise to become disciplined in your thought processes so that only good will come to you. When you notice recurring thoughts that make you feel unhappy and sad, let them fall away and immediately replace them with empowering thoughts or ideas. As you practice this regularly, life will take on an added luster as you begin to see life through the lens of joy, beauty, and contentment. People everywhere will start to do things for others just for the pleasure of bringing joy to others. There will be spontaneous and random acts of kindness that will blossom all over the planet. The spirit, energy, and force of love will uplift the hearts and minds of many people as they feel into these waves of love coming into the atmosphere, into and from the very earth itself. The now floundering and chaotic shadow energy will become balanced both within each person and within the outer world in daily life. Each person will see in their mind's eye the outcomes of each energy input they choose to make and will be able to instantly correct any action, thought or behavior that could bring them an unhappy experience. As this continues, the mastery of self on all levels of being takes place and opens the way for the further downloading of one's higher essence into the physical human operating system. More enlightened beings walking upon the planet bring a more enlightened society and civilization. This is already taking place and will only grow stronger as each person brings in their higher essence, the higher aspects of their soul. Love is the greatest force in the universe, and this force will have its effect within and upon the planet. The unseen will become visible and will open up a new vista of experience and sensory delight, to all who have attained this level of frequency. As more people attain this level, it paves the way and makes it easier for others to rise to greater levels of consciousness and understanding. The golden age of Terra will rise in glory and majesty, remembered and lived. Until next week. I am Hyla.
Alright, very good message as always. And again, what was one of the themes? Focused thought. Why is focused thought important? Because we live in a universe that is a mental universe. First principle of KYBALION, principle of mentalism. Focus our thoughts because we live in a mental universe. Kaballah, Tree of Life, shows us how that mental universe unfolds from a state of emptiness, limitless emptiness, to instant light and an unfoldment of all of this consciousness into the world. Okay? So just ways to keep looking at it, and as you do, you start to see it all makes sense. The mind is so powerful and what we can create with it. Alright, this brings us to our meditation for today. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. And again. And exhale. And keep breathing in and out, and as you do, contemplate the first principle, the first Hermetic principle. Contemplate the idea that we live in a mental universe. The principle of mentalism. And just think about that for a moment. Contemplate that everything around us is mental. Everything around us is part of the great mind. And as we move through this great mind, and the mind moves through us, we begin to have an understanding of how this mind unfolds. And as we visualize the image of the Tree of Life, we begin to understand even more completely how this universal mind expresses itself. And we come to understand that all individuals are simply points of expression of this universal mind. And as we begin to more deeply understand the principle of unfoldment, we begin to find ourselves more at peace because we realize that there is a process taking place. A process that is moving in an autopilot and simply allows us and requires of us to co-create with this and not feel the necessity to have to do all the work for ourselves. So as we contemplate the mental universe and understand the mind as a plan that's already worked out, and we contemplate our place within that, we realize that all we have to do is let go and go with the flow, because the flow knows exactly where it's going to go. And so we let go and just imagine ourselves flowing with life as life flows through us. And the more we open and the more we clear our thoughts and focus them the more we understand. So just imagine as you go through the course of this day, just focusing your thoughts, paying attention to them, paying attention to the thoughts that just randomly move into your head throughout the day. And the ones that you don't like, just push them aside. And the ones you like, allow them to grow even more. And practice this throughout the day. Maybe even set up a bouncer outside the door to your mind to assist you to remove any thoughts you don't want. So let your subconscious mind be on that journey today of just looking at your thoughts, keeping them focused and clear. And let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Keep your eyes closed. Think of the affirmation, I am happy just being me. Just allow that thought to sink in. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. And that's it, my friends. That's it. Started for the week. Go over all those lessons. Go over those books again. You'll really learn a lot if you just keep going through the repetition. Because you've seen the symbol. The Tree of Life symbol hasn't changed and it isn't going to change. So it's just a matter of continuing to repeat and repeat and repeat the learning. And as you do, you'll find that you'll start to remember more of what all of this means, and you'll start to see the deeper connection to the universe that this has, and how by studying these subjects you get plugged in even more. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Have an awesome day. I love you. Keep loving each other. Peace. I'm out of here.